Welcome back here on the Torbo Sports Network. We're here for our live coverage of our third of four matches this afternoon. And our 2 p.m. match in the under-18 division features the Baltimore Celtic 97-98 out of, you guessed it, Baltimore. And they'll be playing the FC Alliance 98 Black, and they are emanating from Knoxville, Tennessee, coached by John Schneider. My name is Jeff Childs, and we'd like to thank you for joining us for our live broadcast coverage of U.S. Youth Soccer National League coverage. If you're just joining us, we'd like to welcome you into our coverage of this match this afternoon. We've already seen 2 matches streaming on our airwaves go final from earlier today. And now we move into the under-18 boys age division in the blue division. My name is Jeff Childs. I'd like to thank you for joining us for our broadcast this afternoon. The Baltimore Celtic, coached by Brandon Quaranta. And this is a squad that's enjoyed continual success, 2014 national champion, a national championship semifinalist this year, and many other accolades to come as we kick off and get this one going between Baltimore and FC Alliance. FC has it now along the far side. Taken over and played back carefully by Baltimore. And a quick whistle and a stoppage of play already. Baltimore given the free kick, and they get it out, but taken away by FC. Booted in by Stephen Bailey. Carson Hunt, today's goaltender for the Baltimore Celtic. He plays it to midfield. Baltimore retrieves it. And they will kick it out softly. FC Alliance battling for position. They have it now back in their own end. Stephen Bailey controlling it in. Kicks it over to Lucas Altman. Altman will send it up the far side. Back to Matthew Zazik and over again to Stephen Bailey. Bailey chips it along the far side, but off a foot and out of bounds. That was number 3, Connor Jacobs, and Jacobs made the attempt to keep it in bounds, but fell out anyway. Connor Jacobs with the pass and taken up along the far side. Alex Schupp. FC Alliance here trying to make some early noise, grab a quick lead. But the Celtic with a high arcing kick get it out of harm's way. FC will turn with it. Touch pass over defender. And connects on that pass and trying to dangle his way past a defender and grabbing a Celtic player. And some physicality being introduced to this match early. Stephen Bailey using his size and maybe illegally after grabbing a hand. And he grabbed onto the hand of Akin Lesotu for the Celtic. This one drilled in by Wayant. Headed off by Sean Clark. Over to the middle, and there's a shot and a save. And the save made by Eli Lewis. Celtic trying to gain possession, and they do. They'll play it back safely to the midfield. Over to Wayant. Wayant tackled in there. And that was Sean Clark, took a tumble in the mud all over that jersey. That'll take maybe a few washing cycles to get all that mud out. Wayant now booted over to a midfielder. High kick goes over the head of a few FC Alliance players, but thrown back in by Baltimore. Both players jostling for it in there, but Baltimore will come up with it, and they'll get another opportunity at the throw-in. There it is off ahead of an FC Alliance defender. Players from both sides fighting for it. The Celtic come away. And a nice reverse dribble there to the feet and turning it over here. There's Baltimore with a chance coming in, but knocked away smartly. FC Alliance ever watchful of that reverse pass. And here's Baltimore again with it, and they are separated from the ball, and FC Alliance having to do everything they can here to thwart this Baltimore offense. Kicked and knocked. Here's Colin Wayant again. Wayant finds the ball. That shot by Sean Clark off the head of an FC Alliance defender. Threaded that pass, went through three defenders, and here's Baltimore with a chance. Kick and blocked in front. Baltimore ball handling, thrown to the front of the goal, tipped off the head and a goal. And a beautiful play, and that is a euphoric celebration right there. The header and the goal, and Baltimore's early pressure pays off, and they're on the scoreboard first, 1-0. And the FC Alliance goalkeeper still sort of shaking the cobwebs loose. Heavy collision by both parties. Looks like Eli Lewis, the goalkeeper for FC Alliance. And now back to the action, stolen away by Baltimore. And FC Alliance coming right back the other way with some speed. In the middle, that's taken away. And Baltimore unable to keep it in bounds, and that'll go over to FC Alliance, excuse me, on the throw-in. Connor Jacobs to throw it in, comes back to him. Tipped in there, knocked around for a few moments before Baltimore able to clear, but only to be stolen again by FC Alliance. Kicked right back over the midfield line. Here's Baltimore along the left side trying to get an angle. And throwing that one in front and stopped on the outer half of the goal. Charles Tome on the chance there for the Celtic. Excuse me, that was Charles Pulliam III with the opportunity. Stephen Weiss, the keeper, in goal for FC Alliance. And that ball kicked away by Carson Hunt for the Celtic, and now his teammates have it at midfield. Chipped over the head of an FC Alliance defender. Racing in, trying to get the inside move, unable to beat his defender to the middle. And FC Alliance kicks it away harmlessly out of bounds. Aquinas Akinla Soto had the chance for Baltimore. Akinla Soto has been in on more than a few offensive opportunities for the Celtics so far. Wyant, a hard, stiff kick, throws that one back into the playing surface. Baltimore kicks it right back. FC Alliance on the offensive again, but that one will go out of bounds, and now the Celtic with the throw-in. High kick headed by an Alliance player, but deflected right back over to the corner. And the Alliance try to center that one, hits off the National League logo there out of bounds. And we have an injured Celtic player there, clutching his knee on the far side. Brief stoppage here as the Celtic staff tend to the injured player. And we're glad to bring this broadcast to you and to be able to be outside here in this unseasonably warm weather here in the great state of North Carolina. There's been a lot of rain in Wilson and Rocky Mount the past 45 days, and that's contributed to the rough field conditions. As you can probably see, the mud being kicked up and the grass torn up as the players race back and forth. And now we're back to the action. That one thrown in, but wide of the goal. And here comes the Celtic. Steaming down the middle, but turned away at midfield. The Celtic chip it over and try to get around a defender there. The Celtic inbound again. There's Colin Wyant. And that header, though, goes right to Baltimore, and they'll try to take advantage of it, but FC Alliance wisely knocking that ball out. The throw-in for Baltimore tried to headman his teammate there in FC Alliance. makes the clear, but Baltimore drives it right back in. Here's Baltimore, and they get it over to Wyant. Here's Wyant. He attempts a shot, and that's blocked. Both players sliding for it. Both miss. Baltimore enjoying a 1-0 lead here. As we're 14 minutes into this first of 2 under-18 matches. Whistle blows in the free in for FC Alliance. Here come the Alliance, and that ball deflected wide out of bounds. Damilola Omitaumu is going to inbound this one. And Damilo's inbound passes harmlessly wide as FC Alliance trying to muster up some offense, but a long pass here over the defender. Scott Lynch saw that one go over his head. And Stephen Wise, the keeper for the Alliance, sends another one to midfield, but now the Alliance the free out. There's a kick trying to center to the middle of the field. It was the Shields on the kick, no one home. And there's the Celtic. They try for the long pass and dribbles out of bounds, and FC Alliance takes over. Ball chipped back near midfield. Both teams trying to come up with it. FC Alliance to throw in. They do back to the Celtic. They'll just send it right back to their defense. FC Alliance now trying to make something happen, almost getting by a defender, and both players tumbling to the ground. And the referee says that's the Celtics' ball. Baltimore coach Brandon Coranta telling his team to clean up the passing, leading the turnovers, potentially leading to opportunities for the Alliance. There's Colin Wyant. He played it to the middle of the field for Baltimore. Connor Jacobs had it for a moment and lost it for the Alliance. Aquinas Akinla Soto. Some shoving and pushing going on. And that shot in was stopped easily by Carson Hunt. gets a lot of leg into this one, sends it to midfield. Knocked out of bounds again, over to FC Alliance. This is the National League, and you are watching the Youth Soccer National League Tournament on Torbo Sports Network. My name is Jeff Childs, and this is a tournament where not everyone is invited. These are the top 80 boys teams in the nation. You have to earn your place in this league, and that's based on success in the U.S. Youth Soccer regional and other national events. As this one goes back to the Alliance, they had that one out of their zone. Connor Jacobs played it for a moment. Baltimore fending off him. Here's Wyatt sort of looking for someone. They're inbounding, but he'll throw it to the near side of the field. Sean Clark had it for a moment and lost it. Baltimore. Sean Clark now back with it again. Clark gives it up to Kinla Soto. Drops it off. Here's a Kinla Soto looking to make a decision with it. He'll throw it over the head of an Alliance defender into the corner. "20 minutes gone here in half number one as the Baltimore Celtic enjoy a 1-0 lead on the FC Alliance 98 Black. Alliance out of Knoxville, Tennessee, coached by John Schneider. And this is their third appearance in the National League in 15-16, but still looking for their first top two finish. That's eluded them so far. And they have some work to do to make that a reality as they trail 1-0 in the first half. The Tennessee pack, not normally known for their strong soccer, but they've finished in the middle of the pack the last two seasons. And it's shown in how close some of their games have been. 9 of their last 14 National League games been decided by 1 goal or less. They play in some tight matches. Stephen Weiss, the keeper for the Alliance. He's been fairly busy so far first half. Not many point-blank opportunities, but he's had to play the ball nonetheless. And to his counterpart in the green and white, Carson Hunt, Baltimore's keeper. Here's FC Alliance now on the offensive side of the field looking to make something happen, but goes right back to Baltimore. Colin Wyatt along the side of the field. Intercepted Keegan Kelly. Kelly gets it over. And that ball booted over and slipped. Number 13, Sean Clark, as you can see the mud on his jersey. He's been all over this afternoon and slipped on that exchange. And both players along the far side near the spectators fighting, and they tumble over. And the referee making his decision on possession. FC ball. Austin Billmeyer comes in for the Alliance. Samuel Stewart sits down. Here's Baltimore now clearing. Wait for the ball to land and now play it. Here's Clark. And that unmistakable dirty jersey after the tumble in the mud early in the half. FC trying to clear it. A bad turnover. They give it right back to Baltimore. Chipped over to the other side. Here's the Celtic. And there's Clark on the left side. Sticking going by his defender, ball handling, tried to cut to the middle, closed off, and the Alliance will clear. And the Celtic drive it right back from whence it came, and now here the Alliance on the attack again. And a long pass, and getting to the Alliance, and now they have it in the corner. Stephen Bailey, and too much momentum, and both he and his defender topple out of bounds. And we spoke a little bit earlier about the FC Alliance and some of their success both in their region and in this tournament. Coming off a strong performance in the U.S. Youth Soccer Region 3 Championships, and they outscored their opponents 13-2 in that contest before falling in the championship game. FC Alliance definitely a squad that has all the makings of a successful appearance here in the U.S. Youth Soccer National League tournament. And Hunt, the keeper, sends it to midfield. And that pass over to the side of the field. And Baltimore playing catch here in their own end. And they'll finally matriculate up the field. Intercepted by Jonathan Creel. Creel waiting for somebody to take it. His partner gets there. And FC Alliance just keeping that one in bounds, but they do now over to the corner. The Celtic here kind of struggling here, and a long pass goes all the way to FC Alliance in their defense. Scott Litch had to play that one back. The Celtic not really generating much offense, sort of sitting back here, letting FC maybe get more opportunities. And the Celtic definitely want to keep on the offensive and add to their lead. FC Alliance, a team that can score and pull ahead quickly. Number 19, Jose Rodriguez, entering this match. He will replace Bailey. And the big man enjoyed a nice first half in terms of ball handling success. Baltimore, a high kick. They just missed getting it out of the zone. And here we go back to the action. Baltimore out of their end. Baltimore showing some spirit down the field. Both teams sliding and tackling. That'll go over to the Celtic. Here's a long pass into Colin Wyant. Wyant involved in a vicious tackle in the corner. Referees so far today very lenient. Haven't seen a flag, but a lot of physical play in these matchups so far in both age divisions. Low pass intercepted easily by the Celtic. And both teams a nice chip pass. They get it over. And here's Baltimore trying to send one right to the front of the goal. That shot off the crossbar. Clipping the top of the crossbar. And Baltimore that close to a 2-0 lead. Great teamwork in there by Joshua Fowell and Charles Pulliam III as well in on that play. Luke Oren enters today's match. Oren replaces Totten. There's a high kick from Stephen Weiss for the Alliance. And lets his club get it up the field. Baltimore coming right back. And here's a breakaway opportunity and a shot deflected and saved. That one looked like it was headed for a goal for Baltimore again. Stephen Weiss sliding out, maybe a bad decision in retrospect. He did affect the trajectory of the shot, but a defender luckily got in there in the nick of time to keep that ball out of the goal. And all of this pressure from Baltimore, and still can only rest on a 1-0 lead. That one headed over to Sean Clark. Sean Clark can't miss him in that muddy jersey as his coach yells out instructions. And just a reminder what these two teams are playing for. They're playing in front of scouts, maybe a college scholarship, sure, but also a berth to the 2016 U.S. Youth Soccer National Championships on the line. That one played later next year in Frisco, Texas. Joshua Fowell now along the middle of the field, taken away by FC Alliance. Only down 1-0 despite that sustained pressure by the Celtic. That ball booted ahead and knocked out of harm's way by the Celtic. They get it up the near side of the field here, right in front of us. Wawol had to sort of stiff arm a defender. He controls the ball, plays it back to his defense, and hopped up over the FC defense. Another sliding tackle trying to prevent Baltimore from retaking possession. That one hit, stays inbounds. Over to Jonathan Creel. Creel gets it over. Austin Billmeyer. Billmeyer along the far side, looking for a teammate. Trying to center that one, but stopped in his tracks by the Baltimore defense. Baltimore Celtic out of Maryland, and they followed their 2014 title run, an impressive debut last year, only their first year in the National League in this tournament, capturing the Red Division title. And this is a team that, well, it's only 1-0. They excel in those situations. They love the pressure-packed moment. Just one of their 5 wins in this tournament a year ago came by more than a goal. Head coach Brandon Quaranta knows how to motivate his club and get them to perform in these pressure-packed environments. And the muddied Sean Clark to come out of the game now. Clark to take a seat, maybe wipe some of the mud off his jersey. Here's FC. FC ceding the ball to Baltimore. Off ahead to midfield, and a stoppage of play by the official as a Celtic hits the turf. These are two teams love to play the physical style of game, not really daunted by the rough and tumble conditions of the field. There's mud everywhere in front of us, as of course the girls played last weekend, and the field in a similar state today and tomorrow. But these teams know how to play in any type of environment, as Baltimore deep in the FC zone. A battle of Maryland and the state of Tennessee today in our third matchup of the U.S. Youth National League Under-18 division. My name is Jeff Childs. Thank you for watching on the Turbo Sports Network. We're glad you can join us, hoping this to be a more competitive matchup, as our first two games have ended 4-0 and 3-0 respectively. This one only a one-goal margin. And a high header. That goal kick hung up in the air forever, but Baltimore comes away with it. Kick to the near side, trying to stay in bounds, but no, it did cross the line. One nothing lead for Baltimore as we approach minute 38 on the half. Keegan Kelly exits for the Celtic. A little bit of mud on his jersey, as well as a souvenir of the conditions we're playing in this afternoon. Here's a hint, not good. Tough conditions for both sides, but that evens the playing field. And now FC charging ahead, trying to tie this game at 1. Baltimore defending in earnest. Thrown back in by Connor Jacobs here for FC. FC is maybe guilty of a foul here, but they'll play on as a Celtic tumble to the ground. And the referees finally blow the play dead. This really an interesting match so far, as Baltimore's definitely had the offensive momentum but unable to convert that into goals. And on the other side of the field, their defense really doing a great job of keeping the FC forwards away from Carson Hunt. Joshua Fawol near side, but chipped right back and out by FC. Here's FC. Damiola Omataumu can't keep that one in. Both teams vying for possession as FC will boot it right back into the Baltimore side of the field. And here's a chance now, rushing the ball, but cut off. Smartly, Perot Bahar. Cuts that ball off right in front of us as they advance to center. Another sliding kick to keep it away, and away from the outstretched feet of FC. Here's Baltimore trying to make a play to the side. Again, that play stiffed out, and both players tackle, and FC can't take advantage of the fallen defender. Dominic Filano there, urged on by his coach, Brandon Quaranta. Move it, he says. Baltimore has had the advantage as far as zone time, really. But still, just a 1-0 lead. They've had numerous chances to increase the lead. Another shot glanced off the top of the crossbar, and Baltimore a few plays here from being up a few goals, and there's a shot. Just misses the corner. Top corner shot sails wide to the left. And some great soccer action for you so far today. The U.S. Youth National Soccer League National League Tournament. Glad to bring it to you here on Torbo Sports Network. And a high shot to midfield off a header. FC dipsying and doodling over there and in control. And a sliding tackle. Referee indicating possession. Baltimore with some room now on the left side, though. They turn it back to center. Colin Wyant had it for a moment, getting it over to a teammate. Now on the right side, a long shot in. Easy save there for Stephen Weiss. Surveys the field, and a long high boot hangs in the air. Dropped off ahead and back to center. Here's Wyant again. Wyant left side. Chips it over to a running teammate and out of bounds. Benjamin Dow takes a seat for the Celtic. Both players connect there midfield. Ball comes away. Baltimore back on the offensive side. 1-0 still our score, as it's been from about the 5-6 minute mark of the first half. Baltimore has carried the play, but FC, of course, had their opportunities as well. And here's now another chance, floating toward the far side of the goal. That shot stopped by Stephen Weiss. High ball headed away over towards the corner. And Baltimore the chance now to throw it in. 44 minutes closing on the end of our first half here, this first of two under-18 matches. And a Baltimore player hits the ground. And that usually results in a souvenir today if you look at that mud churned up around us. And Krawanta voicing his frustrations with the officiating. So far, evenly called matches, really all three today, as the referees have really let all 6 teams play so far without much involvement. Here's Baltimore, maybe one last rush as we near the end of the first half. That one headed away to safety by FC. Here's Alliance, still with it. And Alliance, one last rush. But they will be, Baltimore saved by the bell as the first half ends, and a 1-0 lead for Baltimore Celtic over the FC Alliance 98 Black out of Tennessee. Aquinas Akin Lesotho, our only goal of the first half. Baltimore leads 1-0. My name is Jeff Childs, and you're watching US Youth Soccer National League play on Torbo Sports Network. As our half continues, and Baltimore a shot, and that's a save made by Stephen Weiss, as we're going to stick with you here for a minute of extra time. And that will signal the end of our first half. Baltimore's beset a 1-0 lead as we reach halftime here of the first game of the Under-18 series, US Youth Soccer National League play on Torbo Sports Network. Back in a minute. Who's that, your friend?
Yeah, she worked here too.
Oh, okay.
Didn't do too much work, huh?
Well, they put her on the, or like they told her to come in, and then like when she got here, she didn't have a like job on the schedule. So I was like, I'd stay here and just get paid.
That's what I'm saying.
Shoot. But no,
That's right, man. Wherever you're at.
sometimes the clock, like I'm glad you told me that because this morning the clock wasn't working, and then we finally got it working. Sometimes, and like if you look up there, sometimes like I'll put the score up here, but it won't go up there. Sometimes I'll start the clock and it runs here, but it doesn't run there.
See, that's what else. Usually I look for a pronouncer for a name. Simple, like, that's like the worst thing to do to us to guess at it. But Aquinas Akin Lesotho.
No, there was one over here that I was like, how? Number 13, I think. No. You said it, not
Oh,
me.
Omitaumu?
Yeah.
I guessed at it. Welcome back to Wilson, North Carolina. This is our third of 4 matches this afternoon. This is the first in the under 18 division. The Baltimore Celtic outfitted in the green and white. They lead FC Alliance 98 Black 1-0. Michael DeShields play that one away for Baltimore. And heavy contact on the outside corner. Lucas Altman bodying there. Baltimore to inbound. Kicked right back out. We'll do it over. Thank you again for joining us for our broadcast coverage this afternoon on the Torbo Sports Network. U.S. Youth Soccer National League play. As that ball headed out of bounds, these represent 2 of the top 80 boys teams from across the nation. And so far, quite the barn burner here, 1-0 is the Baltimore lead. And the kick away intercepted by Baltimore. Stephen Wise with the goal kick there. Kick back over for Baltimore, and they'll keep it until it rolls out of bounds. And FC Alliance in just their 3rd year of National League competition, but according to many prognosticators, will be ready to shoot for a finish near the top in this year's Red Division. But they have, again, some work to do here to make that happen, trailing 1-0 as we start half number 2. Battle along the far side of the field. FC Alliance comes up with it. Plays it back to Wise, their keeper. He'll fire this one to midfield. Right back to FC, but Baltimore keeps it in, and they chip it over. Sean Clark cutting inside. A Baltimore player tumbled over with contact. Jose Rodriguez now. Can't clear. Sean Clark back to a midfielder along the far side now. FC shoots it right back out. And a sliding kick. That one goes out of bounds. FC to toss in now, going on the offensive, trying to get out of this 1-0 hole they've dug for themselves in the first half. Very fortunate, could be a lot worse than 1-0. Baltimore's missed out on a few opportunities, but they look to cash in here. Charging hard down the center of the field, Baltimore maintaining possession. Here's Sean Clark. Clark will shoot that one off a leg. Back to Baltimore, and another shot. That one sails harmlessly over the top crossbar. Baltimore missed on a few golden chances. Up to a combination of Stephen Weiss in the FC cage and pure luck, to be quite honest. A shot from Baltimore off the top of the crossbar. And sometimes at this level you need that luck, and FC's been the beneficiary there. Baltimore advancing the ball, gets caught and thrown back again, FC. FC trying to dodge and dash through some players to midfield. They somehow get that ball up, but the official's whistle blows. Here's FC trying to knot this thing at one, but kicked right up and high. And both players go for it. Both miss the ball. The Celtic up to midfield, looking for a teammate. Charles Tome there, those pink cleats. FC steals and takes it away. Here's FC along the far side. Kicking it ahead. FC still having it, looking to try to center that ball. Baltimore cutting it off nicely. Here's Baltimore the other way. Sean Clark tried to clear, but FC takes it back. Now a battle near the far corner. And Carson Hunt had to come out of his cage all the way and play it. Baltimore still unable to clear, having trouble here in front of their own net. Sean Clark back in after taking a bit of a respite at the end of the first half. Here's Clark right in front of us trying to get it over to his teammate Joshua Fawol. Here's Fawol on the right side. Trying cutting to the outside. Here's Fawol, got a chance cutting back inside. Somehow maintaining possession of the ball. But FC clears. FC trying to run their offense here, going to the side. Jose Rodriguez. Rodriguez gets it in the middle, and Carson Hunt right there. And this game still hanging very much in the balance, just 1-0. Baltimore over FC Alliance. Hunt hammers that one to midfield. Misses a few players, but right to Baltimore, lands right on the toe of Joshua Fawol. Here's Fawol, still has it. Great position. And Fawol cutting the outside. They'll center one in the sweeping leg. Stephen Weiss knocks it away, and now battling all the way and kicking it to his goaltender. Smart play. And that was Charles Tome there, who had to fight all the way back and throw it back to Carson Hunt, the keeper. FC along the boundary marker, but they'll keep it in, taken right back by Sean Clark. Easy to find. That blonde hair and that muddy jersey sticks out like a sore thumb. Clark's been all around the ball this afternoon. And so far as we move further and further into the second half, this one shaping up to be a fine finish. Our two earlier games ended in dominating shutouts. And the National League likes to speak of the level of competition that sets itself apart from other leagues based on meaningful matches, and so far, this one shaping up to be quite meaningful. Again, a 1-0 lead, our score for Baltimore. And I'm sure the nerves playing a factor for some of these players, as plenty of scouts in attendance at today's matches and the entire tournament really, but the players have to remain focused on the ultimate prize, which is a berth to the U.S. Youth Soccer National Championships in Frisco, Texas. Baltimore Celtic, really a club that's advanced in a lot of time here, as FC will send this one to the middle. That pass hitting a few players and deflecting, and there's still nobody able to control it. Baltimore, just to finish my thought, just a few seasons old, but they've achieved much in their short time. And ball weaving through a few sets of legs there, and Baltimore has it. Baltimore on the offensive here as will roll in the middle of the field. He falls to the turf. And FC will just hammer it back into the offensive end. Baltimore throwing it in, but FC fighting for possession. They still have it just over the center line. Josh Totten plays it for FC along the far side. Demile Omataumu had the ball for a brief moment. Carson Hunt, the goalkeeper, tosses in for Baltimore. Baltimore playing with it in their own end, sort of dangerously, and now a high kick clears the ball to safety. And now some nice ball movement from Baltimore as they get it to the far side of the field and into the offensive end. That ball just stays in, allows FC to clear it, but right into the feet of a Baltimore player. Stephen Bailey had it for a moment, gets it up to his mates there for FC. And a Baltimore player grasps his leg in a bit of pain there, falling to the turf. We're glad to have you along with us here in Gillette Stadium, field number 4. 2 under-16 matches already in the books, and this is the first of 2 under-18 contests. Some spirited soccer being played today in Wilson, North Carolina. Some of the best teams in either age brackets on the boys' side, and we're bringing it to you live here on Torbo Sports Network. Sean Clark saw that one fall just in front of him, right to FC, and they'll make the pass there, but it deflect off a leg and out of bounds. There's the late toss for FC, but they keep it in, able to get it down the field out of bounds, and it'll go over to Baltimore. Andrew Hopkins to toss in for Baltimore. Over to Peroz Bahar. Bahar has it, gives it up to a teammate. And another shot sails wide, out of bounds. If you've been watching with us all day, we thank you for watching our broadcast. We kick things off at 10 a.m. this morning, and we'll go to the conclusion of our 4 o'clock game here on Torbo Sports Network. Baltimore playing it in their own end off the chest of a defender and then over to Sean Clark. Clark takes the pass. Baltimore long delay here setting up this out. And they'll finally get it free, and then 2 Celtic nearly collide. FC takes advantage. And here's a chance for Baltimore, and just missing the pass. Joshua Fawol turned around just a second too late and missed that opportunity. Here's FC trying to get it out. Oh, and a high tumbling effort to get the head, and he does, but he might have suffered for his effort there. And teammates attending to their fallen comrade. And the free kick by Baltimore, they're going to send it right in front of the goal, but blocked away by an FC defender. Back to Clark. Here's Clark. Has to make a decision as he has a defender bearing down on him. FC being muscled down there in their own zone. Stephen Wise was wise to pick that one up, and he did. And he'll wait for his teammates to get going, but a loose kick, and it goes right back to Baltimore, and here's a break. Nearly an egregious error there by Wise, and this time he puts a little more leg into that one, gets it aloft, but here is FC now. And more contact, and the evidence is on the jerseys, folks, as many players have gone down in a heap in today's action. Here's another shot towards the goal and a save made safely by Hunt. Had to wait on the bounce. Baltimore. Ball handling in tight quarters there. Sean Clark. Clark gets it to midfield. Gets a teammate charging down the middle, cutting the inside. Then outside, he'll try to pass. It's knocked away. And here's Baltimore trying to make something happen, but another errant clearing attempt by FC, and they'll regroup. There's a high ball headed away. This one thrown in. Here we go. Back to it. Resetting things for you. Baltimore only a 1-0 lead on FC Alliance 98 Black here, as we move in on the 65th minute of match number 3 on the afternoon. FC only down 1, but they're going to have to show more than we've seen so far. Not many offensive chances. Baltimore's defense stiffened every time FC's entered the zone. And a spin move there by Clark to get away. Clark will chip this one ahead just a bit too far, trying to see if Fawol can catch up to it. Here's Baltimore. They center it. Goes through everybody. Does find a teammate. And that's Fwo. Fwo gets it back. Players trying to center it away. And that play blown dead. Wise the kick. High zooming kick. That one gets to midfield. Knocked down by FC. FC the long pass near the corner, trying to stay inbounds. Stephen Bailey over there. In this event, really a springboard for a lot of National League alumni. They've gone on to play in such prestigious competitions as the NCAA College Cup, MLS, NWSL, UEFA Champions League, and, of course, the FIFA World Cup. So a lot of talent, a lot of heritage has played in this event, and you could be watching the future stars of tomorrow. FC far side trying to do something to not this game. They haven't really tested Carson Hunt outside of 2 shots, maybe 3 in this matchup. And just looking very disorganized, have been unable to really put anything together in terms of a tic-tac-toe passing play. FC in their own end. Midfield. Up to Demiola Umutamu. Easy clear for Baltimore, and really that's been the story of the afternoon for them as well. Their defense given an easy time of it to clear, no pressure, and it's been simple all the way for the Celtic. FC has not generated much offensively. Official giving that ball to Baltimore. And a clear, crisp day here in Wilson, North Carolina. My name is Jeff Childs. Glad to bring you the action of the U.S. Youth Soccer National League Tournament. First we had the under-16 bracket and now the under-18 to finish off our day. As action continues. Baltimore falling, and that ball went out of bounds, so it went over to FC as they'll toss it in. Closing in on 70 minutes as we inch closer to the finish line here in game number 3 of our broadcast from Field 4 this afternoon, and there's a goal! Just as we say it, FC struggling to break through all afternoon long, and they finally do it. This game's tied at 1. And a bit of a broken play near the front of the net. FC took advantage of the Baltimore error on that one right in the back of the net. Hunt sort of discombobulated as well, couldn't get to the shot. That one's in the back of the net, and here we are, 1-1. Off the chest and booted to midfield. The Celtic Bailey leaves for FC Alliance. Here's Baltimore. Let's see if FC can maybe capitalize on this momentum. They've tied this game up. And charging to take the lead, but first getting it out of their own end, and Baltimore turns back. Sean Clark played it for just a moment, getting it over. Benjamin Dow, here's Dow. Tried a backhand pass, back foot pass. That ball rolls out of off the outstretched foot of Damiola Omotaumu. Feroz Bahar sitting down for Baltimore. Here's Baltimore now. There's a chance, a shot from the side that's knocked down. FC will just boot this one out of bounds. Michael DeShields throws in. Baltimore will play it back to their defense. And a long pass hits nobody. FC will kick it out. Baltimore throws in. They try to center a ball to the front. Baltimore finds it again and swiping at it. Nobody home. Knocked away, though. There's a shot wide. That was Michael DeShields on the attempt. Really no threat there. That ball easily high. There's a kick from Weiss. Trying to get it out, but right back to Baltimore. Baltimore almost sort of sensing that they've lost their grip. And, of course, the lead in trying to get another quick goal. Dow up the far side. Dow looking for a teammate. Just chips it over, but picked off FC. FC, a little bit of room here. Let's see what they do. Taking away a nice swipe from the Celtic. And there's Sean Clark. Gives it up, but taken right back. A little bit of chess match here, back and forth, back and forth. Nobody wanting to make the huge mistake. But that sort of conservative play usually ends up somebody, in fact, making the mistake and the ball ending up in the back of their net. And we would like to thank you again for joining us on our broadcast of the U.S. Youth Soccer National League Tournament. Day 1 this weekend, Day 2 coming tomorrow, bright and early at 10 a.m. Oh, and more contact, and players from both sides throw up their arms in frustration. Baltimore, both players went for that one, turned over, and FC has it. They, in turn, give it back to Baltimore, and FC controls. High kick off the head of a Baltimore defender. And Baltimore on the attack. Here's Clark. Clark trying to throw one ahead, but right to the hands of Stephen Wise. And Wise boots another one high. And Baltimore will head it back to Carson Hunt. Very careful play for both sides. No chances being taken. Who will make the first mistake? Baltimore cutting inside, gives it up. Lost in a tangle of feet, back to FC. Baltimore far side trying to center that one. Sean Clark just out of his reach. Back to Michael DeShields. DeShields shoots one to the front. Knocked down again. Baltimore looking for that chance and knocked down at the Baltimore bench. Nearly 79 minutes played and a 1-1 stalemate in the second half. Baltimore Celtic in white, Baltimore Celtic in green and white, Alliance in red and white here. Brandon Quaranta yelling at his team to get rid of it quicker. And now here we go. Baltimore cutting the front of the net, and behind the back play is caught again, and Baltimore still has this ball. FC clears. One to one our score. Who will relent first? Hopkins calling for a teammate to move closer. He'll take a few steps down the sideline, toss it in. Here's Benjamin Dow. Dow still has it, gets it over to Sean Clark. Turned over to FC. They'll just boot it right back down. Baltimore doing most of the work here offensively. FC just content to drill it back each time they take possession. Michael DeShields gives it up to Hopkins. Hopkins. High kick looking off the shoulder and out. there's another high shot knocked away. Austin Billmeyer. Billmeyer gives it back. Here's Baltimore with a lot of head of steam here, trying to move in. There's the slide tackle knocked away. Sean Clark all over the field again, giving tremendous effort. And Baltimore seems like just a matter of time. The score is one, but confidence and clearly momentum on the side of Baltimore. The FC continues to just clear it out whenever they get possession. There's been no real rush offensively down the field. And both players falling over, but still picked up by Baltimore in the corner and knocked out of bounds at last. There's a high kick looking for an FC teammate, but Baltimore will simply play it back to Hunt. Hunt gives it right back, and this one boomed down the field. Knocked down to Clark. Clark looking for a teammate to get open. Still has it, dribbling. Hopkins had it for a moment, gives it up. Baltimore still in control here, 1-1 on the scoreboard, but possibly closing in on the lead. More contact, Baltimore showing no abandon at the physical play, taking out a man. They want this win. And Baltimore had it in front, couldn't get a clean shot. The chip pass into Dow. Dow shoots. And just wide. Weiss leapt, but that ball clearly not going to be a factor as it cleared the crossbar. Both coaches exhorting their teams, give it all you've got. Give it all you've got. In this game, we've seen a lot of strong defensive play so far, but one more goal needed for a winner. FC shoots it down the sideline, back on the feet of Baltimore as they get it down to the offensive side. Muscled off the ball, running into his own man was Lucas Altman. Baltimore here, threatening deep in the FC zone. But given away, and here's another chance for Baltimore, and they throw it near the side of the field and still have it. And another sliding tackle kicks that one out. And there's one kicked away by Weiss. FC Alliance trying desperately to cling. Maybe they're playing for overtime as Baltimore wants to win, and they're proving it so far in this latter second half. Playing it up to the defenders, intercepted. FC takes over. Both players losing their grip in the mud, as it's been tough going on this terrain this afternoon. And center to the front. Here's Dow with it. Dow gets it over. Centered in front, comes back to him. That's Sean Clark. And FC, their strategy very plain to see, just playing for the extra time, the extra session. They have no qualms about just booting that out of bounds. And if FC Alliance wants to earn their first top two finish for the state of Tennessee, then they'll have to find a way to pull this one out. Tied 1-1, looking ahead at some extra time. Baltimore tries to center, but Baltimore had it for a bit, lost it back into the Baltimore end. But the Celtic quick to play it up the field. And here's a long centering pass, and coming all the way out of his goal, Stephen Wise swoops in and grabs it. Wise the free kick. And that one hops right to a teammate and back to Baltimore. Baltimore sending a long pass ahead off the back. And that attempt negated. Baltimore throws it out, and Hopkins tried to save it to no avail. Here we go for FC, and a nice play to keep it in front. And one Celtic player falling over in a heap. Baltimore starts in their own end. That kick bounced twice off the head of a Baltimore player. They'll keep it in bounds just for a moment. Baltimore. Dow plays it to the middle. Kick back to the side here. The Celtic very patient before going to the front of the net. And another chance at a slide tackle. Scott Litch there to break it up. Referee signaling 2 minutes of extra time here as we end the second half. Still tied at 1. Here's Baltimore. Baltimore shooting it wide. Wise lines it up. Hammers this one to midfield. Looking for a teammate. And he finds him. FC has it just a brief moment. Back to Baltimore. And out of bounds again, and FC to inbound, just seconds left in this second half, tied at 1. outcome still to be decided here for the U.S. Youth Soccer National League game as that pass goes wide. The Baltimore Celtic 97-98 out of Baltimore, Maryland, and the FC Alliance 98 Black out of Knoxville, Tennessee. Wise brushes off the ball, backs up. And lets one fly to the middle of the field. Knocked away Baltimore, perhaps one last gasp. And they still have it and knock it through. Here's a chance. Fighting to the side of the field, still with it. Looking for a teammate, kicks it to himself. Here's Baltimore centering, looking for somebody. There's a shot blocked in front. Baltimore, a tremendous opportunity. A defender in the way. Baltimore advancing, throwing that one to the center. And knocked away by FC. Baltimore heaves another one to the front. Off a deflection. And a high lofting kick, and that one drops behind the net. And that's the end of the second half. We are still tied at 1. And with no extra time scheduled, this one ends in a 1-1 tie here. So Baltimore Celtic ties FC Alliance 98 Black 1-1 in our third game of 4 games on the day. That'll do it for me. Jeff Childs here. We'll be back shortly at 4 o'clock for our final game of the afternoon. Baltimore and FC Alliance tie at 1. You're watching the U.S. Youth Soccer National League Tournament on Turbo Sports Network.